Another radar outage at Newark Airport after Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy unveiled plans to overhaul the air traffic control system yesterday. Let's bring in Republican Senator Dan Sullivan of Alaska. I want to play, Senator, and thanks for joining us, some of the audio from air traffic control.
On the show, John.
I wanted to play some of the audio, if I could, air traffic control, talking to a FedEx plane. It happened at 3:55 a.m. this morning. Listen to this.
FedEx 1989, I hand you off here. Our scopes just went black again. If you care about this, contact your airline and try to get some pressure for them to fix this stuff. New York departure now 120.8.
120.8, sorry to hear about that. FedEx 1989 switching. Good luck, guys.
I mean, like all air traffic controllers, she's pretty matter of fact about it, but then you hear the plea in there. If you care about this, please ask your airline to start pressuring the folks in charge to do something about it. So, as one of the folks in charge, what are you going to do about it?
Well, look, I want to begin by just thanking President Trump and Secretary Duffy. I mean, they showed tremendous leadership yesterday in that press conference, mentioning that we need historic, bold reforms. This is something I've been calling for, John, for a number of years, but then laying out in detail what we need to this antiquated system. By the way, the Biden administration and Secretary Buttigieg did not focus on this at all. And then very importantly, you saw it in this press conference, bringing in all the stakeholders, the unions of our FAA and ATC employees, industry, lawmakers. That takes leadership as well. So we are off to a really good start. This would be historic, very important reform. And here's the bottom line. We need to keep our aviation system the safest in the world. And it is creaking. It is falling apart. And we need dramatic top to bottom reforms. And that's what the Secretary laid out yesterday. And again, that's President Trump and the Secretary driving this reform that we really need. And I think Congress is ready to act.
All right. Well, in terms of the equipment creaking and getting very, very old, the Secretary brought out all this equipment yesterday. Looked like he went to the vaults of the Smithsonian Institution to bring it out. And he said that they can't go to a supplier to get repair parts for this. They've got to go to eBay. So you know what this is going to take. This is going to take money. And it's not going to take a few $1 million or a few $100 million. It's going to take billions of dollars. And Secretary Duffy says he needs the money up front. Can you do it?
Yeah, I think we can do it. You know, they're going to be providing more and more of the details. Congress, we want to see the details of the reforms. But in this budget reconciliation bill, you saw the House started with a $12.5 billion program focus on the ATC reform. And I think that's a good start. It's probably going to need to go north of that, John. But I'll tell you this. We had a discussion about this. I was leading it in the Senate just a couple days ago with all of our senators together. And I told them, I said, go to a regional FAA regional center that do such great work. The guys here in Alaska, you know, I'm back home right now. The men and women in Alaska, they do great work. But I said to all my Senate colleagues, go to one of these. Look at what they're using in terms of technology, floppy disks, paper strips that track planes. It's almost like Post-it notes on the wall. You can't make this stuff up. I told my colleagues, go look at this. I think our air traffic controllers do heroic work, but boy, oh boy, they need an upgrade, and this is a really good start. And again, I want to thank President Trump, Secretary Duffy for driving this, because that's what it needs. It needs leadership, and I certainly plan on being part of this.
Yeah, you know, one of the first times that I saw images of those paper strips being passed around was a 1970 disaster movie, and it seems not much has changed since then. Senator, a lot of people are relying on you to help make this work. Appreciate your time, sir. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, John.